Hi everyone, my name is Captain Hamlin. I'm the director of the Expedition Center here in the Ottawa Valley region on the Quebec side. So today we're going to talk about choice of clothing during winter training, what you should be looking for. So basically I will give you characteristic of clothing you should be choosing, but before you do that I want you to go in your bedroom and go look for whatever you would be bringing for a winter training exercise, either at your cadet corps or on an expedition center. Now that you're back, we're going to be going through that clothing and what should be the best choice for you for winter training. So first of all, one principle that's very important is to use the multi-layer protection. So instead of wearing only one big thick clothing, you should be wearing multi-layer. This way, if it's getting too cold, you can add up layers, and if it's getting too warm, you can remove some layers. Okay, this way you will stay warm throughout the weekend for your training. So what you should be looking is for synthetic fabric. So if you have chosen 100% cotton t-shirt, 100% cotton pants, worse, jeans or sweatpants, this would be a very bad choice for you to stay warm during the winter. So first of all, we'll start with the underlayer, which should be keeping you warm. So you will need long johns, okay? These are how to say that in English? Polypropylene, okay, that's good. Bottom and top part. So this should be what you'll be wearing first. What you need to know is how to find what your clothing is made of. So basically every piece of clothing that is made in the industry now today has a little like stickers inside that says what it's made of. So if you look at this one, it would say that it is Polartec. Okay, so this means that it's a fleece and it's warm. Okay. Second, you will need socks. So socks. Forget the white cotton socks. Okay, if you have wool socks from your unit, that would be the best choice. If you have better socks, you would be looking for Merinos wool, which keeps you warm, evacuate moisture, and keep your feet dry and warm throughout the day. So they're more expensive, but they're better. Next, you will need pants. So, pair of pants, no jeans, no sweatpants, please. Okay, your phys ed pants, that would be great. Okay, this is what you should be wearing. Then you will need a t-shirt or something. So look for something that's polyester if possible. Okay, dry fit t-shirt, they're a good choice. Okay, and then you will go with something a little warmer. So if you have a fleece, that would be the time to wear that part. Okay, now we're talking about winter training, so it should be cold. If it's not cold, you lose this part, you're not wearing it. And then you go with the outer layer. So you need something to keep you warm, and depending on how cold it is. Next, we will be talking about the outer layer, the things that will be exposed to the weather you'll be facing during your training. So, snow pants. Let's start with that. So you need a pair of pants that's hopefully waterproof or water resistant, because snow, whenever you're sitting on it or working in it, well, it has a tendency to melt and get your clothing wet as well. So make sure that you have pants that are at least water resistant, if not waterproof. Also insulated. Okay, this pair of pants is not, but the underneath layer I will be putting under will keep me warm. This is just the outer layer. Okay, and now for the upper part of your body. So you need, I always go with 2 layers depending on the weather. So you can go with a mid layer that's gonna be warm enough, but not too warm so you're not gonna sweat. Okay, so this will be this part. And if it's really cold outside, or you're not doing any exercise, for example, whenever you're sitting outside having your lunch or dinner, you're not as active as if you were snowshoeing or cross-country skiing. So therefore you need something to keep you warm, and that's when you will go with a down jacket, either natural fiber or synthetic. This will really keep you warm. It's a dryer you would be putting on yourself to keep you warm. So this would be a good thing to have if you're stopping. If you don't have that, not a problem. What you need to do when you're not active during your exercise is to remove everything that's wet or feels wet and put dry clothing. This way you're not gonna freeze, okay? Because it's easier to stay warm than to produce heat. And then you would go, like the pants, with the other top part layer, Gore-Tex, something water resistance, water repellent, that will keep you dry. Okay, one thing you should be looking for is if you have a jacket that has zipper underneath the armpits, that would be best. This way, you know you're producing lots of heat underneath your armpits. This way you can evacuate it and keep you more dry and comfortable during the winter. Next, we'll talk about your head and your head. So, you lose 30% of your body heat through your head. So if you don't wear something proper on your head, then you're basically looking to freeze. So you need a good hat, toque, okay, to put on. And then for your hands, well, you need to know yourself. You're probably like 15, 16 years old. You should know by now if you have a tendency to freeze in the winter according to your hands. So you can either go with a pair of gloves if you're the kind of person who doesn't sweat too much and stay warm, or if you're a little on the cold side, then you would go with mitts. If you have tiny little pair of gloves that you can put underneath, so whenever you have to work outside, sometimes like bulky mitts and bulky gloves, it's hard to work. So if you have like a thin layer of glove that gives you dexterity to work, like tying your snowshoes, your binding for your skis or anything like that, that would be good to have, and then you can put that in your gloves or your mitts to stay warm. And the last part, nonetheless, for your feet. So a good pair of snow boots is one pair that has an inner layer that can be removed. Okay, this way, if this gets wet, you can dry it in your sleeping bag at night. It will evacuate moisture and keeps you dry. And the other part, even though if it's wet inside, if the inner part is dry, your feet will thank you later. So, snow boots, they need to be high enough so that if you walk in the snow, there's no snow getting in. Other than that, it's comfort, price, and whatever you would be looking for. Now we're starting the second part of this lesson. You will have to, like the first part, go into your house, go to find personal equipment you will need during weekend training exercise. Bring that all equipment with you, put this video on pause, and then we can go over your list, compare it with my list, see if we meet up in the middle. One thing you need to bring with you to make sure that you have a successful weekend is personal item that will make your life easier throughout the weekend. So one thing that you have to think about is your hygiene kit. So it should have at least during the weekend toothpaste and toothbrush. You should also bring deodorant. As well, a little towel that you will use to clean your face and wash your body during the weekend, and also toilet paper. I don't have to explain to you why this is important. One other thing you should be thinking of in your hygiene kit is your medication if you take some. And ladies, if you think you will be during your period, make sure that you bring proper protection to make sure that your weekend goes smoothly. One other thing you have to think about is bug repellent. So you can have this kind. If you don't like that, they do sell little nets that you put over your head, over your hat, that protects you from bugs. So that could be one option. The fact that you'd be spending 24 hours a day outside, the sun, the wind will dry your lips. So make sure you have lip balm with you. Also, sunscreens. So make sure that you have proper protection. There's numbers on it that tells you how efficient it is. The cadet movement recommend at least 30 for SPF for protection, especially if you have activities on the water. You could also bring a pair of sunglasses, always nice to protect your eyes from the suns and the element. Also, a little notepad that you will take note if you are to be in charge of parts of the weekend, so always a good thing to have that. Water container. So it can be a water bottle like this one. You can always go with the water bottle you buy at the store. The only problem with these kinds is that they have a really small opening, so it makes it hard to refill with the jerry can we use in the system. So proper water bottles. You could bring a camera. For most of you it will be your cell phone, but if you don't have one and you like to take picture, you can bring camera like this. Some of the expedition center will provide you with either a flashlight. If not, you can have this kind of flashlight. Make sure before you go that you check that the batteries are good enough. If not, make sure to bring some extras. It's kind of annoying when you're in the middle of the night and you're looking for something and there's no more batteries. You should be bringing as well some matches. You can buy them in little container like this, ready for use. Or for some of you, you will have to ask your parents about this, but before the iPhone, we use a camera film. So these are a container for 35 millimeters camera film. So they're perfect to put matches in it. And they keep your matches water safe. So you could be using that if you still have that at home. One other thing to bring would be a knife. And if you don't have a knife, you can bring multi-tools like this one, where you have pliers, you also have screwdrivers, you also have a knife included in this. So if you're that kind of cadet, to use that, that would be a good choice. You would also need a whistle if in case of emergency, always good to have that with you. Rope to fix, tie, put a clothesline to dry your clothing, that would be a good thing to have. And one other thing would be your survival kit. So things that are mandatory in a survival kit would be a knife. You would also need a way to make fire. So you either have the matches, you can bring a lighter like this, or you can bring a fire stick like this one to make fire. You would also need a fishing filament to, if you want to fish, as well as the fishing hook. That would be a good thing to have. And the other thing you would need is some snare wire if you were to be hunting. We're in 2021. Everybody use electronics during the weekend. One thing that is bad with electronics is, well, at some point you're gonna lose some battery. You will need to recharge these electronics. So on the market right now, you can find a appliance like this one. Basically, this basically will replace the battery of your cell phone or camera. If you need to recharge it, it will be the equivalent of plugging your phone in the wall. So that would be a good thing to bring with you if you are that in need of using your electronics during the weekend. Now, if you were to do your expedition weekend during the winter, one thing that is good to bring with you if you're the kind of cadet that freeze on your hands or your toes is those little like hand warmer or toe warmer. So these are good to have to make sure that your hands and your feet stay warm during the winter. One other thing is if you bring a water bottle like this one, they do exist, is an insulator for your water bottle. One thing you need to know, water tends to freeze from the top to the bottom. So if you want to make sure that you have cold water and not ice to drink, is make sure that first of all the lid is very tight, and second of all when you put your water bottle in your insulator, you put it upside down. This way, what's gonna happen is if your water freezes because it's really cold, it's the bottom of your water container that will freeze, and whenever you get it out of it, then the ice will be at the bottom and really cold water will be at the top. This way you can enjoy water during the winter. Now we're at the third part, which is the part where you will have to put everything you're bringing with you for the weekend in your backpack. At the Expedition Center, a backpack will be provided to you if you don't have one already at home. One thing that's important is to make sure that everything you bring from home, make sure that it fits in one bag. This way it's easier to gather your equipment than traveling to find 5 different bags because you bring everything for the weekend in 5 bags. So, backpack, there's different size, but one thing you have to make sure is that everything you put inside will stay dry, though you have to protect everything from the rain. The big black garbage bag works like a charm as long as there's no holes in it. So you can use that, you put it in your backpack, and then from there you put all your equipment in order to make sure that you have everything for the weekend. On the market there's also these kinds of bags. They are waterproof as well, so you can use that, put it in your bag, in your backpack, and then from there you will have to put your equipment in order. One thing you have to put first is everything you will use to sleep. So at the Expedition Center you will be given a sleeping pad, so you make sure that you have to remove air inside, and you fold it as compact as you can. So I would put that inside at the very bottom. Then you will receive a sleeping bag, okay, with a case to put in it, as well as a fleece that goes inside. So this is my own personal sleeping bag, so this will be the second thing I would put in my backpack. Then my little fleece blanket to sleep, so I would put that as well at the bottom of my backpack. Next, I would bring with me all the clothing that I need. I like to be organized, so all my clothing for each day or each activity is packed in one of these bags. This way, when I wake up in the morning at 7 and I still haven't had my coffee, all I have to do is grab one bag, and then all the clothing I need for the day is inside that little bag. So when I have to go look in my backpack to find a pair of socks, long johns and everything is organized. So I would put that next, and then I would put all my equipment there. Next, if you don't have those kinds of bags, these bags works like a charm as well. You need to buy the bigger one. This is the large one, but there's an extra large that does exist in the market. It's a little longer. So this way you can put your clothing for one day in little bags like this. And then you will put these bags inside your backpack. Then I would put all my survival kit, everything I need, battery, flashlight, all that is in there. Easy access. Then all my electronics that I need for the weekend, and this will finish the main part of the backpack. Once it's all closed, All the expedition backpack do have a little top pocket, and in this pocket I would put everything that I would need easy access. So my easy access is my hygiene kit, would be at the bottom, so whenever I have to brush my teeth after each meal, it's easy access. My little towel if I have to clean my face or my hands. Toilet paper would go also in the top part like this, and little notepad, easy access if I have to take notes during the weekend. And the other things missing is my water bottle, so make sure it's filled with clean water, and then I would put it on the side pocket here of my backpack. So if you look at the backpack, everything is inside. Nothing is hanging on the outside, on the side, at the bottom, at the top. Everything is inside. There's nothing attached extra to the backpack. If you have to do that, that's because you have too much equipment. Okay? So you have to make sure that everything fits inside your backpack. One of the other things you probably realize is that I didn't put much clothing in my backpack. So I have other equipment that I would bring with me, and I will show you where I would put it. So as I mentioned, I always have with me a little pair of gloves and a hat for cold nights. So this two piece of equipment would go in easy access top pocket here. So if I need it, easily accessible. And as for my fleece and my rain jacket, it would go in the main compartment right over here. So if I need my rain jacket, it's at the bottom part here, easily accessible. If I have to open my backpack and it's pouring rain, I don't wet everything that's inside because it's at the very top. If it's wet, I don't put it inside. I would put it on top. Okay, it's already wet, so it can just go on top like this. Et voila. I bring 3 kits. One kit I would be wearing between 7 and 5 p.m. This includes all the clothing that I would wear during the activities that probably require me to sweat. Then I have my evening kit, which is clothing that I would wear once I'm done sweating. So at night when we're chilling by the fire, I have other clothing that I would wear. And my third kit is clothing that I wear to sleep. So whenever it's time to go to bed and to wake up, this is my third kit. So there's no need of bringing 100 pairs of pants or t-shirt or anything like that. If you do bring that, the problem is like you won't take care of it because you don't care. If it gets wet, it doesn't matter. I have 6 others in my backpack. So by bringing 3 kits, it helps me take care of my equipment to make sure that I don't ruin it, break it, wet it for unnecessary purpose. If there's a puddle of mud, there's no need for me to walk in it when I can walk around it. So this way I can take care of my equipment and bring less equipment with me.